DJGamers.com.
Yeah, it kind of how Sonic CD had its whole switching environment thing going on. They kind of wanted to emulate that a little bit with this, although not sending you like back in time or anything, but they wanted to do like different environments without actually having you change levels. And everyone's a jerk in this game, by the way.
Yeah, you can see there's a lot of spikes, and this is just on the first level, so it's definitely a much more challenging level design than the previous two Sonics.
Now this time you can kill it, but it shoots fire at you. And jumps right out of your range. So yeah, Sonic 3 was a little rough. Just for the first stage, I mean. How much damage did we take there?
Yeah, and you know, it's definitely different, and you see the levels are a lot more vertical in this one, and
that was a theme they would continue on with too.
Yeah, and we would see the use of Knuckles come into play, so
yeah, I think this one might have been more designed for Knuckles than Sonic, now that I think about it.
Yeah, it kind of seems that way.
Here's a look at the bonus game, Blue Sphere, which they threw in to do a little bit more with the 3D experimentation they were doing with the Sonic series. Even though they wouldn't come out with a full 3D Sonic game for another 5 years when Sonic Adventure came out for the Dreamcast. So that was kind of a long span for them to go without moving Sonic to 3D.
Yeah, they had several failed attempts as they went, which if you watch all of our Console Wars of the past videos, you'll hear us speak about. But
yeah, we'll chronic the evolution of Sonic, but that was a look at Sonic 3 here real quick.
Yeah, more Sonic. They crammed as much Sonic as they possibly could on the Genesis, and in the end I think that ended up burning them, but
yeah, they kind of burned him out some.
But during the Genesis time, if you liked Sonic, there was a lot to like.
Yeah, this
for
was
sure.
The best time to be a Sonic fan, truthfully.
Okay, now here's a title that you see is based on the very popular Sesame Street, and so obviously the title is aimed at children, and so this was during Sega's Sega Club series of games that were made for children to be semi-educational, and this one was developed by EA but was branded under the Sega Club title. And there was also Barney titles. There was Richard Scarry's characters were in some of them, and a lot of them weren't that educational. This one is it definitely has some good counting games for children, but we're just showing it off real quick to show you how Sega tried to push towards some of these edutainment titles that were both educational and fun. And this is definitely one of the better ones that we saw come out of the Sega Club. And
yeah, it was good for kids, you know. That's basically what it was all for, was for the kids. They were going for that edgy route with everything, and then they figured that they needed some kids titles, really.
Yeah, and yeah, it was basically a way to sell games to kids. And you know, they did alright, and Sega went on to even release the Pico, which was essentially an edutainment console, which would have interactive storybooks and things of that sort. So, if you want to learn how to count, here's your opportunity, folks.
Unfortunately, there are too many people that don't know. Alright, folks, we're going to move on here after we serve our customer here and look a little bit more into what made the Genesis great.
I don't think it was that.
One orange. Alright, Ron. You ready to get hit with a chair?
Perhaps. Well, not if we do a Royal Rumble, but yes.
Because we're going to get raw here.
Raw is war. Now we're checking out the best wrestling game of the 16-bit era.
I just wouldn't feel right taking him. Owen Hart. I'll take The Undertaker. As you can see, you have a full selection of wrestlers here.
And it has MIDI versions of all their theme songs.
Which is a really nice addition. Oh, Big Daddy Cool Diesel. Shawn Michaels. One of the few wrestlers on here that are actually still going.
I remember how awesome I thought the music was whenever this game first came out. That it had all the themes and everything. So
who did you take, Shawn Michaels?
I am Shawn Michaels. And I played this game mostly on the Super NES, which we have a Ray's Retro review of the Super NES version. And so this is the other version of it, and they're essentially the same.
Yeah, there's a couple different characters, but that's essentially it.
I don't think with this one there's actually different characters. I think they have the same roster.
Oh, really? Was it Royal Rumble that had different characters?
Yeah.
'Cause they made so many wrestling games back then.
Did this one have Papa Shango, or was that Royal Rumble?
That one was Royal Rumble, I believe.
Okay, so the characters were the same for this one. The difference was on the 32X version. Quang was on it, which who cares? That was like the stupidest character to add.
He was only there for like a year too.
And he didn't do crap. He eventually was someone else, but I think he was. Actually, I think. Oh, I got thrown out. I think he was the pimp.
Oh, yeah. That was Kama.
Okay, who was he? Quang was someone. I can't recall. My wrestling lore.
Was he in WCW?
He was someone in WWF.
Okay.
My wrestling lore has faded over the years, and as you see, I lost here very quickly. I
think you can get back in.
Yeah, I think if you press a button combination, there we go. I hit the incorrect run button. What's grapple for this?
I believe it's A. I think it's A.
I think that's run.
I've been punching with B, so it must be C.
I think it's B and C at the same time. It seems to be. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the Royal Rumble matchup where the goal is to toss your opponents out of the ring over the top rope. For fans of professional wrestling, this was probably the best take on the genre up to that point, and even the later stuff that we would see, like the WrestleMania the arcade game during this generation, weren't quite as good.
No, they kind of took things to more of a fighting game level. Oh, got him out.
Yeah, this was kind of its own thing. It wasn't like the fighting games of the time. I mean, it's, you have the power bar and everything, but everything's based around the grapple system, which you see pop up whenever the two guys start grabbing each other's shoulders there. They're grappling, and you have to quickly press the buttons and try and win the grapple.
It's pretty much any buttons, and then once you win the grapple, you're eliminated.
Has it got huge new stones? Yeah! Twice as big as Sonic 2? Yeah! The new 3D special stage? Yeah! And the new game save feature? Yeah! Do it!
New Sonic 3 is now available at a store near you.
Sega!
New Sonic 3 game cartridge and Sega Genesis sold separately.
DJGamers.com